century of lonely nights, waiting for someone to release me. You're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I'm gonna give it away, baby, baby, baby.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 7 of the MSC F1 Podium Series. We arrived tonight after a dramatic United States Grand Prix, where the Circuit of the Americas delivered a race full of twists and turns. It was Nicky who rose the occasion, taking a stunning victory for the Hayes. Mirko brought Ferrari back into podium with a Williams P2, and Smokey delivered with for Williams with a well-earned third place. Championship leader Tom Hackett came home fourth, not to win he wanted, but enough to keep the control at top. And those results have shaken up the driver standings. Let me get them taken for you. Here they are. So Tom Hackett remains the man to beat, leading on 123 points, but Nicky has slashed the gap, now just 5 points behind on 108 points. Jack C slips to turn on 86, with points right behind him on 84. And Mirko's podium has launched him into the fight for the top 5 with 83 points. Further back, Mono Rider, Viper and Krytek are locked in their own scrap for the upper midfield, while Smokey's podium has left him to 12th and building momentum. In the Constructor Championship, Mercedes will still lead with 177 points, but chase is on. Ferrari have closed in with 144 points, and Williams leapfrog into third on 134 after a strong weekend. McLaren sit just 9 points further back. Hayes are climbing rapidly after Nick's win, and Red Bull, Aston Martin and Alpine are all within striking distance of the upper order. So as we head into round 7, the pressure is mounting, the championship fight is alive, the midfield battles are relentless, and every single lap tonight could prove decisive. This is the Fanatec Podium Series, this is MSC F1, buckle up, round 7 is about to begin. I will soon rejoin you lads, as I need to put my microphone back to the console. So give me a small moment. So first driver came over the line. Kasi with a 1:15.188 puts himself on first position in qualifying 3. Smokey Dagoon with a 1:15.718. Jaxie, teammate of Smokey Dagoon with a 1:16.406 on third place. Moonrider with a 1:16.967. Adveer with a 1:17.045. Daddy Cool with a 1:18.624. Ali Ali with a 1:19.669. And Tasman with a 1:27.85. As I believe Crytek is coming there. Came there across the line and puts himself on a P4. Let me get some settings right. Alright. Sound checks are completed. Everything works. So let's get to qualifying now. Jaxie bailed out. Thinks that the 1:16.406 is gonna be enough to get through. Sure it is. Smalley with a 1:18.572, the Alpine. Daddy Cool right behind him at a 1:18.624. Those drivers all jumped into the top 10. So who is up next? And Aston Martin is going to be Viper Gaming. Viper Gaming puts it to a P3 with a 1:16.210. Great lap from Viper Gaming. As I do need to apologize that I'm a bit sounding weird today, lads. I'm a bit sick from the airco and the hot temperatures outside that is currently here in the Netherlands. So we got a McLaren coming up. That is Moonrider. Moonrider on for a hot lap. Let's go Moonrider across the finish line, and there goes Moonrider to a P5 with a 1:16.632. Artin jumped himself into P6 with a 1:16.687. And I was waiting on Mirko. As you know that Nick here is currently not in the session, but it was between those two gentlemen last time, and there goes Mirko. Mirko with a 1:14.804. Fastest man on track for now. Mirko in the Ferrari puts himself again on a P1 spot. Last race it was between an F7R Nick here and Mirko. An F7R Nick here took the lead by going one lap earlier into the pits. And with the tough conditions from last race in the rain, it was a well call from the team from Hayes where Nicky was driving last race. As Tom Hackett, your leader in the championship, goes to a P7 with a 1:16.412. So we are waiting for Adams. Not the best start of the season, as you could say, looking back to the old seasons from MSC F1. Absolutely a great driver. We're probably still trying to find his momentum with no racing line, as a lot of people are still doing this, a lot of drivers. So all drivers have set a time now. Adver P12 now. Trying to find back who that was, who jumped now. Adver to P12, but Adver is up back to P10 with a 1:16.668. Ginaudi, teammate of Moomin Rider, right below him on P8 and P9. So two McLarens, great for the constructors fight for today here in the circuit of the Mexico Grand Prix. Best team performance from the P10 of P1 till P10, but I do say that wrong because there's still Williams on a P7 and a P3. Two battles for the constructors today. Viper Gaming plus 3.5 tenths almost on last lap. A very low battery to do another hot lap, so don't think that he is gonna do it, but we will see. As here he goes out of the line and it's invalidated. Viper Gaming lap is invalidated. The rest is all going into the pits. We got a Ferrari lining up. That was Martin, and Martin goes up to a P8 with a 1:16.542. Great lap for Martin there. As there's going Moomin Rider to a P5 with a 1:16.117. Was already in the top 10, but still improves his lap time. Next one coming up is an Aston Martin. That was Viper Gaming. Doing a cool down lap or is going into the pits. Did a cool down lap? No, he is going into the pits. Daddy Cool into the pits. The kick Sauber off Tasman. Yeah, Tasman, you need to do something now, mate. You need to do something. With 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. All eyes are now on Tasman, Zero Sniper and Ali. Do need to say Smalley is also in the danger zone. Just the gap to those last 4 drivers on the grid is really, really close. So, Moomin Rider back into the pits. Improved his lap time last lap from P8 to a P5. Smalley and an out lap. Going to start now is hot lap. Let's see what Smalley can do for us today. In qualifying 1 of round 7. So on to turn 7, turn 8, 9 and 10. I do apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Back to Smalley. Heading on to turn 12, sector 3, turn 13, turn 14, 15, 16 and 17. 17 corners. The Mexico Grand Prix is counting. And Smalley to a P14 with 170.193. It goes one place back up. Puts himself out of the elimination border. Zero Sniper now on risk. Together with Daddy Cool. No, Zero Sniper not. Do apologize. Daddy Cool, Ali Ali and Test Manager. Daddy Cool now lap now. We know the front is continuing to qualifying too. So that's not so important anymore now. Now our eyes are on Daddy Cool. Ali Ali and Tasman. But Daddy Cool is gonna be first. So we're gonna stay with Daddy Cool for now. Into turn 1. Could have taken fast at Apex 1 there. But let's see what he can do. On to turn 4 and 5. Turn 6. 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Sector 2. Arriving into sector 3 goes Daddy Cool. He gets there in the mid sector, he gets there purple, but I don't think that is true. Daddy Cool. Coming across the line goes Daddy Cool, and Daddy Cool goes from a P16 to a P14, kicks Smalley back to a P15, and Smalley now on the elimination zone. It's gonna be close, it's gonna be tight. Ali Ali starting his whole lap. Tasman is currently heading into sector 2, so we stay with Tasman in the kick Sauber. Tasman. Watch the right top of the screen, ladies and gentlemen. See if he is below his time in sector 2 or above. And oh, it's very close there in sector 2 as he's almost getting a track limit there. 1.3 seconds above. Tasman is not gonna do it. Back to Ali Ali. Ali Ali made a mistake. Ali Ali made a mistake. And that means that the drivers that are continuing to qualifying 2 are definite, are decided, and that means that Mirko is on a P1, Kasi is on a P2, right behind Mirko, 3/10 difference still though, but we will see if Kasi can make that right in qualifying 3. Smokey the Goon with a 1:15.718, the Williams driver, Red Bull driver Will Sponge with a 1:15.887, Tom Hackett in the Mercedes with a 1:15.941, Moomin Rider with a 1:16.117, and now we need to stop a bit because we know the drivers are not anymore on a hot lap, so these standings are decided. Viper Gaming in a 1:16.210 and Aston Martin, Adveer in a P8 with a 1:16.288. Arton, the man in the red, the Ferrari driver with a 1:16.308 on P9. Jaxi on P10 with a 1:16.406. Krytek, the Aston Martin driver on P11 with a 1:16.532. Ginaudi on P12 with a 1:16.618. Adams on P13 with a 1:17.095. Adams still has to do some homework. Looking back to his lap times or his racing In season 5 it was a great driver, and now we're still missing something here, so I'm for sure he has it in himself to do something. So Daddy Cool P14 with a 117.148, Smalley 76 with a P15 in the Alpine on 117.193, Zero Sniper on the Haze on P16 with a 175.45, Ale with a 118.034 on P18, and P19 we have then Tasman. We have then Tasman and a Kick Sauber with a 118.587. 3.8 almost seconds clear from P1. Mirko once again. I think your top 3 drivers in the race is gonna be today Mirko, Carsi. Maybe Hackett, but we're gonna see it. It's about to fold out. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, my kid was crying, so I needed to go for a moment upstairs. But all good now, as we are watching Moomin Rider. Gonna set the first time, going to 1:16.382, is almost a half second slower as the P1 driver in Qualifying 1, as I said, Tom Hackett, 2:1:15.446. Jack C with a 1:16.676 in the Williams. And we got Viper Gaming with a 1:74.8, but we stay now with Daddy Cool as he comes across the line. Daddy Cool with a 1:73.89. Arten coming across the line first now. The man in the red. Going into the pits. So then it's Smokey the Goon going also into the pits. The next one is McLaren. Ginaudi invalidated, goes for another round. Red Bull invalidated, Adams invalidated. Adveer also invalidated. What's going on today, Mirko? Mirko, oh, and he makes a big slide there. He makes a big slide there, but still puts the car on 1:14.76. My god. That is a replay I definitely want to see today after the race. So, Jack C into the pits. Viper Gaming, we got no one else. The Adams invalidated once again. Adams. McLaren behind the Red Bull. That is Ginaudi. Now it's waiting on Ginaudi. It's waiting on Ginaudi as he goes into the last turn. Oh, Ginaudi is going back into the pits. Need to get some data to see that earlier, and there we go. So Adams back into the pits, invalidated twice on his first stint in qualifying 2. Arten busy on an outlap. Smokey the Goon busy on an outlap. Adveer and Smalley. Smokey the Goon and Arten quite sure, I think, to go to qualifying 3. Smalley and Adveer still gonna need to put some extra work, I think, today to get in that top 10. So who is first? That is gonna be Arten. So we're staying with Arten for this outlap. And after those 4, we're going straight back to the front to P5 and 6, starting his outlap right now, together with Viper Gaming to see what is going on there. But now it's waiting on Arten, burning that battery down on the straights, heading into turn 1. There goes Arten, another long straight with DRS open. So Arten goes across the finish line. There goes Arten to a P6 with a 1:16.309. Well done from Arten, puts himself in the driver section for going through to qualifying 3. Smalley puts himself to a P11 with a 1:73.54. Very close to the top 10. But gonna need a better round than that, as I missed the last driver who was coming through there. I think it was Moonrider, but I'm not sure. No, it was not Movement Rider. Advir, was Advir, the 1:16.097 to a P5. Great lap from Advir there. Now it's Wellsponge and Advir heading in the top 10. So we said before, McLaren now is adding the Red Bull team. And I believe we said before the Williams team, but that is still going to be tight. So we got 3 teams still fighting to go into qualifying 3. So we got now Advir, just said this time, not gonna go in back to the pits now. So we got Daddy Cool busy on an outlap. The next Red Bull is gonna be Wellsponge. -2 seconds, here comes Wellsponge, across the finish line goes Wellsponge from a P11 to a P11, do apologize. Viper Gaming into the pits. Jack C back into the pits. All drivers back into the pits to do a last try. To get in that top 10 position. So 4 drivers are gonna be kicked out in this qualifying 2 session. So let me have a look again. I do apologize, lads. I have so many screens in front of me with information. Daddy Cool. No, plus 7 seconds. So was his cooldown lap, but it's going now for a hot lap. Let's hope that Daddy Cool can get another good lap down today here in qualifying 2. Ginaudi busy on our lap. Where was going there? There was going a Ferrari ride, and that was a Mirko. Mirko lost control of the car. And there he goes again, Mirko! Puts himself already on P1, so it's not gonna do much harm to him. Mirko 2 times lost control in 1 lap. Let's see how many laps on 1 lap. On the softs. It's gonna be a tricky one for Mirko in the race. Quite sure about that, but there goes Wellsponge and Advir, P5 and P6 together. One Williams is out, one Williams is in. And as I said before, the team of Aston Martin still fighting both to get to that qualifying 3 session. So now it's waiting. Advir goes back on an outlap as his time is separated to P10 with a good of half of a second. Moonrider and Crytek and Arton are all three very close, as there goes Gennady up to a P6 with a 1:15.853. Moonrider right below him with a 1:16.180, so that's a McLaren on P6 and on the P8. And now he's waiting also on Jack C in the Williams, if he can do something to get that Williams back in the top 10 spot. And there goes Jack C with a 1:15.998. So 2 McLarens, 2 Williams so far in the constructor fight in qualifying 2 to get the best results out of the race. So also keep an eye on that. The Red Bulls at Veer and Wells Point will be joining them too. So double points for those gentlemen if they will keep it on track. So let's go back to the Aston Martin. Viper Gaming -8 tenths, and there goes Viper Gaming to a P6 with a 1:15.555. Perfect time from Viper Gaming. So now Crytek is pushed back to P11, and Crytek is done. That's gonna be 1 Aston Martin in the top 10, continuing to qualifying 3. Moonrider is at the border, so it is on Adams, and he's 6 tenths below. Gonna push him only to a P2, P11. And it's not even gonna do it. He's gonna stay on a P13. So Adams, Daddy Cool, Smalley, Arton and Crytek are out in qualifying 2. Mirko, Carsey, Smokey the Goon, Tom Hackett, Wells Punch, Viper Gaming, Gennady at Veer, Jack C and Moonrider are continuing to qualifying 3. So that means that 2 McLarens, 1 Aston Martin, 2 Red Bulls, and 1 Mercedes driver, 1 Williams driver, and a 1 Hayes driver, and a 1 Ferrari driver is continuing to qualifying 3. So all eyes on Wells Point, Edvin, Gennady and Moonrider for double points. And all eyes on Mirko and Carsey, who can fight for that pole position. Do need to say that Crytek was very, very close to Moonrider there. Only a 1200 separated P10 to P11. But yeah, that's how racing goes. The 2 McLarens taking now the spot from the Aston Martin drivers as we watch one time back to the qualifying 2 session. Mirko goes ahead with a 1:14.876. Carsey on a P2 with a 1:14.978. Smokey the Goon in the Williams with a 1:15.293. Tom Hacken on P4 with a Mercedes with a 1:15.445. Wells Punch in the Red Bull on P5 with a 1:15.522. Viper Gaming on P6 in Aston Martin with a 1:15.555. And Gennady and Adveer, the 2 Dutchmans. McLaren and Red Bull on P7 and P8 with a 1:18.853 for Gennady. So let's take a small break, guys, as we are heading into qualifying 3. This is all what it is about. As I said, 2 McLarens, 2 Red Bulls for the constructor double points at the start of this Grand Prix in the Mexican Grand Prix. So now is waiting on the top 10 drivers if they're gonna change still some settings or still something on the wing. as the first drivers are going out, and that is Jack C. 12.98 in the Williams. Followed by Cassie. Cassie, the man in the haze, known by his esports pace. So let's stay in qualifying 3, of course. Let me take my phone with extra data. Jack C, as told before, not anymore first driver on track gonna set a lap. That is gonna be Cassie, so we're gonna stay with Cassie and look on us how he's gonna take the apex. Let me give you the extra data that I have. There it is on the right top of your screen. Watch to Cassie. 0111 heading into sector 2. So we're going into turn 1 with Cassie. Turn 2, turn 3. Long straight, battery is going down, DRS is open. First lap of qualifying 3 with Cassie, here we go. Heading to turn 6. A long straight. Well, not on this speed, but here we go into turn 7, turn 8, turn 9 and turn 10. Into turn 11. Middle of turn 11. After turn 11, I should say. We're going heading into the sector 3. Turn 12, turn 13. Turn 14, 15, and 16. Here we go. There goes Cassie across the line. Goes Cassie. Do apologize for the switch. 1:16.782. Jack C goes right below him with a 1:18.042. Wells Point with a 1:17.662 on P3. Tom Hackett on P4 with a 1:17.662. I do rephrase back up to P5 with a 1:17.938. Tom Hackett. Jack C up to P6 with a 1:18.042. Moon Rider, the two McLarens, 1:18.077 and 1:18.491. Split by a half of a second, the two McLarens on P7 and P8. Adria is still in the pits, now is waiting on Viper Gaming. What can he do? Still heating his tires on the long straight, so definitely not going for a hot lap right now. The top 8 will go back into the pits, change for a fresh set of softs, and wait for the perfect timing as I see some light drops coming into there. So this might be your qualifying 3 results. As if you're getting now rain. The temps are going down on the circuit. The circuit is getting wet. And the drivers setting their time on a set of softs will no longer be able to equal that lap time. But we are gonna see what qualifying 3 has for surprises for us, as the first 8 drivers has set their lap.
appetite for a
So guys, it's waiting for the kickoff. Do apologize for the echo. It's waiting for the kickoff of the Mexico Grand Prix for the MSC F1 Fanatec Podium Series. Round 7. All eyes are on the championship leader. And that's gonna be Tom Hackett. Mirko ZH on P1 today, starting from the front line. F7 on Nicky, we need to miss today. Unfortunately, he had other plans to fight Mirko today, but who knows, we might see him back next week in round 8. As we are gonna watch back to the intro made last season. I'll see you guys. So guys, round 7 is about to kick off. Mirko is on top, followed by Kasi, the esports driver, or almost called an esports driver. This is gonna be very excited at the top of this Grand Prix. As Mirko is lining up himself, so is Kasi and Smokey the Goon, the Williams driver, will sponge the Red Bull driver on P4. Looking at a spot in that top 3, but is he able to? First 3 cars are lined up on track, the rest is following soon. And now is waiting on Tasman and Cam McKenzie. Cam McKenzie joined the fight later, did not try any qualifying laps. So we'll start on P19 on the mediums. And here we go, back to the top, Mirko. The start of the Mexican Grand Prix, and here we go, it's lights out. Kasi on P2. Goes back to P3 as Smokey the Goon tries his luck today. Goes up to P2. Kasi back up to P2. Kasi and Mirko is now. Mirko the inside of the apex. still managed to keep that calm P1. The Ferrari driver is now versus the Hayes driver, Kasi 0111. Kasi looking at the back of Mirko. So is Wells Point, so is Smokey Lagoon and the rest of the field. As you can see, it's a very, very nice train right now. That's not gonna last for long. The two McLarens, Moomin Rider and Gennady on P7 and P8. The two Williams driver on P6 and P4. Smokey Lagoon and Jack Z, as Viper Gaming gets already a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As Mirko sets his fastest lap time with a 1:19.949. But Kasi, oh, and there goes a late move from Smokey Lagoon and Wells Point. Wells Point ghosted for a moment. So we're watching now currently at the side of Wells Point, of Tom Hackett I should say. Do apologize. Smokey Lagoon back up to P5 together with a teammate on Jack C on P6. So the two Williams drivers on the top. They get maximum constructors points today. Back up to the front to Mirko and Kasi. Look how close how Kasi is here. We know Kasi is capable of doing everything. We know that here, right here in the MSC community. So it's gonna be a very, very exciting to go see what is gonna happen here at front. As I tell, Kasi sets the fast lap time when I want 18.319. Looking to get closer to Mirko as he does. Now with US open. There goes the flap down. And Kasi up to P1. Ahead of Mirko. Tom Hackett already 2.1 seconds on the back of Mirko. Not gonna be very happy to see that. But the rest P4 till P8 still in a big DRS train, so anything can happen right here, right now. Ali receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Ali currently fighting for P12 together with Adams. And the rest of the field on the back. Oh, and that's a really close fight there on the back with Cam McKenzie and Orton. As Viper Gaming gets the 3-second time penalty. Did not. Yeah, did. Do apologize. 3-second time penalty for Viper Gaming. Six seconds even for Viper Gaming. So that's gonna hurt a lot to the end result of Viper Gaming in this Grand Prix, but we are heading back to Mirko, which is still looking at the back of Kasi. Still in the DRS zone, so this top battle here between P1 is going to be very exciting here in the Mexican Grand Prix. Mirko and Kasi. Mirko looking at the back of that rear ring. That white rear ring. So let's watch Mirko from a different angle. Without all of these details inside of the screen. The battle for P1 between the white driver and the man in the red, Mirko. You can see that the gap between P2 and P3 is currently getting bigger and bigger as those gentlemen for P1 are continuing fighting each other. Mirko looking and looking, trying to find his best corner exit. Looking at a fight between Kasi and Mirko. Currently in MSC F1 round 7. MSC F1 Fanatec Podium Series. Let me get some details back up as we forgot Moon Rider and Jack C fighting for positions. Moon Rider up to P6, takes a position from Jack C. Well Sponge and Smokey the Goon still fighting for positions. As Smokey the Goon goes up to Well Sponge as well. Not pretty sure what happened in that last corner of the circuit there, but Smokey the Goon and Well Sponge. Well Sponge goes back up to the front. I do apologize for switching too late. Jack C up to P6. So best team performance for now is between the Williams guys and the Aston Martins. Aston Martins 5 seconds behind the McLarens, so will not do any much harm anymore. Back to Kasi. Mirko switch positions. Mirko up to P1, Kasi up to P2 in the haze, and Kasi is looking now at the back of the rear wing of Mirko. The lap before it was vice versa, but Mirko managed, definitely with the help of DRS, to get up in front and take the car off that haze. But now comes Kasi back again. Let me get those things back. Here comes Kasi. Kasi takes the inside line, and there goes Kasi. An easy catch for Kasi today. And lap 7 of the Mexico Grand Prix, and up Kasi back up to the lead. Mirko will follow. Mirko will think this is my Grand Prix, and you're not getting anything of it. Back up to schedule as Smokey the Goon. Smokey the Goon is reporting himself at the back of Well Sponge, the Red Bull driver. Can Smokey the Goon play a really nice part here for his teammate in the Mexico Grand Prix? From P5 to P4. Well Sponge up to P5 and make room for Jack C to catch that pace too. He's about to fall out, so stay here, ladies and gentlemen, as Adams gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So does Viper Gaming. Viper Gaming had already set at 2 time penalties left, so makes his total count up to P 9 seconds, I should say. Do apologize. As you can see here, Viper Gaming already up to 12 seconds in lap 8 of 36. That's quite much. As Cam McKenzie is joining the Mans now. Is joining the crew of the time penalties. Let's get back to the fight. Mirko and Kasi still fighting each other. Mirko back up to P1. And those gentlemen are gonna change themselves lap by lap, with the help of DRS, of course, which is next year disabled. So let's get those things going again. The battle for P1 currently between Kasi and Mirko. Mirko, the driver you're currently seeing in the red Do apologize, lads, I'm a bit sick. So, as we said, Mirko on P1, the man in the red, the man in the Ferrari, but Hayes is joining the battle. And there goes Mirko. I should say Garcia, do apologize, with a strategy call. So Garcia into the pits. Going to that hard, so it's going for a very long stint. Garcia here, and now is the question, what is gonna do Mirko? Mirko, the battle for P1 in the Mexico Grand Prix is between Mirko and Garcia, the man in the Hayes on P10. Well, Sponge and Smokey switching positions. Look at how close this is, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Sponge needs to back out. Thinks I still want to keep this P4 if I'm not able to keep that P3, to catch that P3. Oh, there goes Smokey! Smokey lost control of the car. Smokey lost control of the car into turn 10 and is up to P8. From P3 up to P8, and Smokey will not be happy with this, but he has still time to make this right, so let's hope for Smokey the Goon in the Williams if he can set this time right. If we got another 3-second time penalty up on top of the screen. Not sure who that really was, but we got already, let me count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers on the grid with time penalties. As we see now, the first drivers coming into the pit lane to go for a fresh set of tires. So as we said, all eyes on Garcia and Mirko for now. Viper Gaming and Moomer Rider with 9 laps old mediums will fastly be out of this game up in front. And you see that Garcia is really closing in on those hards, and there goes Garcia, takes the inside line of Viper Gaming and catch that P2, and now it's only in front of him Moomer Rider, the other McLaren driver. Moomer Rider still not going for pits. Looking to his pace and looking to his position right now, up to Gennady. Did already go for a fresh set of hards last lap. Moomer Rider still continues for 1 lap, so that's also going to be close between the two McLaren drivers. But now watching back to Garcia. Garcia is reporting himself up to Moomer Rider, and there goes Garcia. Takes that P1 spot easily on the straights with the help of the DRS, of course, but still need to find to load that battery up into the fight with Mirko later this Grand Prix. So Mirko now behind Moomer Rider, should be an easy catch with 10 laps old mediums under his ass. Moomer Rider, as I said, easy catch. Mirko up to P2. He is now 1.7 clears. 1.7 clears. Clear of Garcia, I should say. Gennady reporting himself at the back of Edveer. McLaren versus Red Bull here. Gennady still needs to find his way up, as his teammate is currently fighting for P3 in this Grand Prix. No, I should apologize. Moomer Rider went just into the pits. And Gennady coming across the straights, and there goes Moomer Rider. Made a bad call. A bad strategy call. and needs to give his place up to his teammate Gennady. Viper Gaming as well. Moonrider back up to P9. Daddy Cool, currently 11 laps old, hot under his feet. As there comes Well Sponge with a new fresh softs, with a new fresh sets of hearts. So Jaxi currently closest in the battle on track. No, that is Cam McKenzie on P14. There were two Red Bull sister drivers against the Alpine of Smalley 76. The man in the pink and red and blue. As Adams is reporting himself very fastly now at the back of Smalley. And there goes Adams. Easy catch for Adams. Jaxi and Daddy Cool is fighting each other also on track now. Jaxi takes a P5 in the Williams from Daddy Cool and Alpine, with the help of DRS on the straights. Heading into turn 1. So we can see that slowly the gap is getting bigger and bigger with the drivers on track. Especially looking at the top. There is going insane with the gaps. I will put you the current gap to the leader. Mirko 1.7, Tom Hackett on P3 with a 9.5, and Well Sponge on P4 with at least 18 seconds with a gap over leader. And that's pretty much, guys, that's really much in the world of Formula 1. And that's pretty much in the world of MSC F1. Mirko still has sight on that P1. Not sure if he's able to in the upcoming 22 laps. And Tom Hackett is still sitting in lonely land. Not much more to say currently for Tom Hackett in the Mercedes. The championship leader still taking maximum points here today in the Mexican Grand Prix. 9.3 seconds clear of the leader, but also 10 seconds clear of the next driver on P4. So we will clearly get the instructions from his team. Take the baby home. But we don't cheer too much as we see that Mirko is closing the gap up to Kelsey. Currently with 0. Within a half of a second, let's say. So heading into the last corner, turn 17, on to the straights. Mirko and Corsi, the battle for P1 here in MSC F1 round 7. Here we go. And there goes Mirko. Takes back that P1 spot, that pole position which belongs to him. He knows it and he will do everything this Grand Prix to keep that Ferrari on that P1 spot. But let's see if Corsi is thinking different about that. He knows he has the pace too. As we are silently waiting for Corsi's overtake attempt for Mirko. As we are switching back to the interval. And then we see that Moomin Rider is closing in on Viper Gaming. So let's stick with them for a moment. McLaren versus Aston Martin. If Moomin Rider gets the job done, it will be a P6 and P7 for McLaren today. In lap 15. of 36 in the Mexican Grand Prix of MSC F1. Moon Rider, mediums, 3 laps old, under his ass. Viper Gaming, 4 laps old, hards under his ass. Gonna struggle in the corners comparing to Moon Rider. So let's see, but we are switching back to the front because Mirko now looking at that rear wing, that rear diffuser of Corsi in the haze. Mirko 4/10 clear now of Corsi, but he knows he will get the DRS. But you know, any Formula 1 driver never wants to makes an overtake on the straights with the help of DRS. They want to do it in racing form, and a racing form is doing the corners. That is what making you a racing driver. But we are looking now at Mirko versus Corsi on the straights with the help of DRS. As Adams gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but here comes Mirko, thinks the better of it into turn 1 and waits for a better opportunity. So Mirko and Corsi still in a fight for P1. As Daddy Cool is also reporting himself at the back of Smokey the Goon and the Williams on P9. But he lost some time there in Sector 1. As Tom Hackett gets 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Will not do much harm because he is 14 seconds ahead of Wells Punch on P4. But Ginaudi, we saw the front now, but now we're going back to P6. The end of the front field and the beginning of the midfield. Ginaudi reporting himself at the back of Jack C, and look how close he comes as Ali gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But now we got Mirko and Corsi. Most important battle today, just missed it. Adams gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Adams and Cam McKenzie, the sister team of Red Bull on P13 and P14. Ginaudi and Jack C. As I said before, Ginaudi is fighting. And he catch that P5 from Jack C. And now it's all up to Moon Rider, teammate of Ginaudi on P5. Moon Rider on P8. Moon Rider. This is your time, mate. Moon Rider should act fast if he wants to make it the best team performance of Season 6 here on MSC F1 today in the Mexican Grand Prix. 6 laps old under his feet. Half second clear of Viper Gang on P7, the Aston Martin. Jack C will follow with roughly a 1 second ahead. But first let's see if Moon Rider is capable of taking the P7 from Viper Gaming, as we watch back to the front with Corsi and Mirko. Corsi and Mirko into turn 2.
So, last turn. Turn 17. And now it's up to Corsi. Is he too far away? I think he will still save battery. Yes, he will. Turn 1, 2, and 3. Nicely the apex taken from the both of the gentlemen on track. There we go, the DRS ring again open from Corsi versus Mirko. Corsi knows 13 laps old mods. Under his ass in lap 22.36. It's gonna be a tough bite for those two gentlemen on track. I think Corsi is aiming to keep the tire degradation as last as possible right now. But I think those gentlemen up in front are going for a two-stop strategy. As well as points to get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I'll give you an image of the time penalties currently standing as we watch Corsi and Mirko making his attempt, but waits for the better of it. Now takes a better exit line. No, he doesn't. Both of the gentlemen slipping away on the rears as Mirko gets there a very big lag like last time. Needs to give up his position, but is still in a fight for P1 as we watch Wellsponge and Tomac also up into the fight. Tomac takes the outside line, now the inside line, and now the outside line again, and is up in front of Wellsponge. Both of the gentlemen get a 6-second time penalty standing. Viper Gaming on the back of them with a 12-second time penalty. Gonna make it an easy catch for Moon Rider if he is able to bring that car back to home today. Watching back at the front, Mirko versus there goes Corsi. As I said, a two-step pit stop strategy. Oh, Corsi gets a 10-second time penalty for driving too hard into the pit lane, and this is gonna do Corsi so much hurt today. This is definitely not what Corsi wanted. As he gets now a free 10-second gap to Mirko. And Mirko knows now, as he sees this notification also on top of the screen while he's racing, he knows now he can take it easy on those hards. And drive it easily back home. This car in the red. So Jack C reporting himself at the back of Viper Gaming. Viper Gaming currently with a 15-second time penalty. Jack C currently with a 3-second time penalty on P10. So easy catch. Jack C doesn't need to take any risk right here now in lap 25 of 36. But need to make sure that when he's entering lap 30 of this Mexican Grand Prix, he needs to be ahead of Viper Gaming to make a chance to make an overtake attempt on the rest of the field with the three cars which you see up there in front of Viper Gaming. Because those are valuable points today, especially for the two McLaren drivers. And Gennady is also still up in that fight. as we was talking, Gennady on the right, Viper Gaming makes it a sandwich. No, he bails out. Viper Gaming with a 15-second time penalty. Knows that there's not much to fight them when you got those 9 seconds already on Ale Ale. But trying to make the best out of it as the Aston Martin goes side to side. Viper Gaming taking the inside line of Crytek. Takes that P7 from Crytek. But do remember that Crytek does not have any time penalty standings today, as Garcia and Mirko switching positions. And now it's up to Kasi, as he is already 5 seconds clear of Mirko, to show some real pace here in MSC F1 round 6-7 today. As I thought that Kasi gave a 10-second free gap to Mirko, I'm crawling slowly back, because this 10-second gap went already to a 5-second gap, as Tom Hack and Smokey the Goon switching positions. Do apologize, that was Viper Gaming and Gennady. And Jack C and Crytek. Look at how close this midfield is fighting for the P5 spot. It is actually P6 to play P10. Because Viper Gaming with this 15-second time penalty, not quite a chance. And there goes McLaren on the inside line of Ale Ale. Gennady really doing a great job today here. Taking that McLaren to a solid P6 for now. Moonrider now reporting himself at the back of Crytek. Come on, Moonrider, this he can do. Taking the inside line now. P10 to P9 goes Moonrider. Pushes a bit right. Wide that Crytek there, and he has the Martin. With a well done from Moonrider. Well sponge on Jack C. Side to side. Look at this view, ladies and gentlemen. P7 and P8 fighting for positions heading into turn 1. Well sponge. Leaves Jack C right behind him. Kasi and Mirko. Completely tied to each other's pace today. Gennady and Viper Gaming. Gennady knows that he does not need to do much for this P5 position, of course. He does not need to push his tires. He does not need to take any risks today, as he's pretty sure that he has that P5 position already. So if he does not need to push much and drive just the pace that is normal to him, that feels great to him, he will of course still take the P5 position if it's within reach, like now with the DRS open. But does not need to take any risk here in the last part of the Mexican Grand Prix MSC F1 round 7. Looking at the back, you see bigger and bigger gaps beginning to evolve. As the closest battle on track is for now Gennady versus a Viper Gaming in the Aston Martin. I do see that we have some viewers on YouTube. So people of the MSC community or whoever are watching, your thumbs up on the channel is appreciated. As we are still watching the fight from Gennady and Viper Gaming, but Wellsponge is reporting himself now at the back of Gennady, and there goes Wellsponge side to side to Gennady. Wellsponge taking that P5 from Gennady. Well done from Wellsponge, but still got a 9-second time penalty, and for 7 laps counting. Who knows what is gonna happen there. Looking at that P5. So Krytek versus Advir. Krytek is in the pits, do apologize. Will get company from Zero Sniper, but easy catch from Zero Sniper. Tasman is too much behind. So looking back, Mirko versus Corsi. Corsi still got a 10-second time penalty, but is 5.1 seconds ahead of Mirko. This was 2 laps ago, 4.7 if I correctly remember. So who knows, he might still have a shot. Wellsponge and Gennady. Still nice to look at those gentlemen to fight. But Wellsponge got a 9-second time penalty, so and there he goes. Red Bull braking later as the Aston Martin. Aston Martin searching the track limits here on the side of the circuit. You can see the dirt on that Red Bull. Knowing he was going outside of the track, at least once today. Is that the same for the Aston Martin? Yes, it is the same for the Aston Martin. Is that the same for the McLaren? Looks a bit less today. Less or nothing. Still had a good camera view. Let's take another shot. Look like he's clear of any dirt. At least much more than the 2 drivers in front of him. Zero Sniper gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So, as we're looking back to the grid, Wellsponge versus Viper Gaming. Gennady also in that fight for P4. Let's say for sure in the fight for P4 as Viper Gaming has a 15-second time penalty, which I repeatedly already said. So, then we got Moon Rider versus Jack C with a 6-second time penalty. Does also not need to fight much to get that P7 spot, as he is almost sure already of it with 3 laps counting more. A 4. Smalley DNF'd himself, left the session. Wellsponge and Gennady and Moomin Rider. Only 3 drivers on track which are currently fighting. The McLaren sandwich. Jack C knows it all. Moonrider, if he trying to make this catch on Jack C, it's gonna be a P6 and P7 for the McLarens today. My guess that is the best team result of this season. Not pretty sure of that, but could be. Well, Sponge, Viper Gaming still didn't could to make him try another attempt. Or Viper Gaming. Knows he doesn't need to. And knows that there's not much more within reach than the P4. Moonrider still looking at the back of Jack C on P7. As Tom Hackett gets another 3-second time penalty, so does Smokey the Goon. Moonrider saving battery, using too much. Should save it to do it just for the honor on the straights. As Moonrider gets now also a 3-second time penalty, and that's making the total count of Moonrider on 3 seconds, but on Jack C 6 seconds. Most two drivers on track with time penalties. Currently Viper Gaming on P4 and Tasman on P16. With 15 seconds in total, which is a lot, but knowing that these drivers are driving on no racing line makes it also not a lot. But Gennady until now, same as Mirko, same as Quartek, not even looking to the positions they are standing right now, but they are doing an amazing job by keeping this car within the track limits here. And we know in the world of Formula 1 it can be tough when we are looking to track limits, especially in the world of sim racing with no racing line. The pro drivers obviously know how to race with no racing line. The mid drivers starting to get used to it, and I hardly try to say that MSC is now in the mid, with some pro drivers reporting themselves at the line, like Phoenix Gray, Copper Top. On iRacing we got in Formula 1, of course, Garcia, Mirko, and F7 Nick here. On ACC we got some great new drivers reporting themselves in the battle for the championship of Season 2 MSC GT3, but we are now in MSC F1. And that means that we are still watching at the battle of Sponge and Gennady. The only battle we probably gonna see today, together with Moonrider and Jack C. Smokey the Goon reporting himself after a mistake at the back of Ali on P9. So let's see how this goes. Smokey the Goon bails out, takes the better of it, knows that he's gonna need to make this attempt later today. There's no later today because this is the last lap, the last corner of today. I do apologize. Smokey the Goon will not make it. Or did I say that too early? No, he will not make it. But back up to your leader of this Grand Prix, Kasi. 7.6 clears, but Mirko goes on top because Kasi has that 10-second time penalty. And this is a very sad for Carsi today, because he was great driving from Carsi on P2 today from the Hayes driver. But Mirko stands out today. Lost last race, the Grand Prix of the United States, by a mistake in strategy, by a team mistake you should say. According to F7 on Nicky, did go into the pits 1 lap earlier than Mirko, and in the tough conditions we had in the United States with those roughly rain it was given, Mirko didn't knew anymore how to get the pace back on the inters, according to F7 on Nicky. But today it is Mirko that is your Grand Prix winner after 36 laps driven on the track of the Mexican Grand Prix. Did not was the fastest lap the fastest man on track today, because that goes to Carsi. The fastest lap point reward goes to Carsi with a 172. And there you see the Ferrari driver, the Hayes driver, and the Mercedes driver Tom Hackett, still your leader in the Drivers Grand Prix, in the Drivers Championship, as you say. Do apologize. So Mirko on P1, Carsi on P2, Tom Hackett on P3, Gennady on P4, Wells Sports on P5 in the Red Bull, Moon Rider on P6, Viper Gaming on P7, Jack C on P8, Smokey the Goon on P9, Ari on P10, Edvir on P11, Daddy Cool on P12, Cam McKenzie on P13, Quitec on P14, and I do believe that the rest did DNF. No, I do apologize, I'm wrong again. Zero Sniper on P15, Tasman on P16, and the rest of the drivers did DNF. And that was Smalley today, Adams today, and Arton today in the Ferrari. And with this we end your Grand Prix round 7 of season 6 of the MSC F1 Fanatec Podium Series. Tomorrow we are of course back with another racing drama. Tomorrow the MSC F1 Club Sport Fanatec Podiums of Fanatec Series will take over the lead, as they has assist restrictions with no racing line and medium traction, which is gonna be very exciting to see. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you still a very great night and a great evening. For the ones who are going to sleep, I wish you a very lovely good night in the name of the MSC F1 Racing League. And we all see you back tomorrow.
Waiting for someone to release me. You're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I'm gonna give it away. Baby, baby, baby. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle, you gotta rub me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. You gotta make a big impression, but I like what you do. I'm a genie in a bottle.